Welcome back to Smack Media. This is the best TV station here, 254, where we bring you the best content. And here I'm with Dr. Chris. And we are having a discussion, just a discussion to speak about the issues that Raila Amolo Odinga raised when he had a meeting in Jacaranda. And today, actually, it's good that we speak on the next point. And the sixth point is actually to ensure that he said that the president must have to ensure that there is regional and ethnic balance in state and civil service appointment. Maybe Dr. Chris, actually this is actually has been spoken and reacted by many Kenyans, and many are saying that actually they have not been considered in these appointments. Maybe what is your take on this, and what is your point about the president's appointments?
I could say first of all that thank you first.
Yes.
I could say that the appointment into government, because we have government appointments.
Yes.
Then we have others where you have to apply.
Okay.
You have to apply. The Constitution of Kenya is very clear that every public appointment,
Okay.
And even employment, should have the face of Kenya.
Yeah.
Should have the face of Kenya, because everyone is paying tax. And President William Samoei Ruto himself had said that his government is going to be more inclusive, because for the first time, unlike during the Jubilee administration, for the first time,
Okay.
he got more than 25%, 25% in the largest number of counties. So there is no doubt that he should have everyone in government. But again, let it not be that Raila Amolo Odinga believes that for someone to be in government,
Yeah.
it must necessarily be names that are known to him. You know, that is another thing that can also happen.
Okay.
That the people that are being appointed are not known to him. They could be people from his tribe, for instance. They could be Luos. But just because they're not known to Raila Amolo Odinga, so there is no face of Kenya. So perhaps he wants certain names. You know, that also can be an issue.
Okay.
He wants specific names. The way we saw during Iyala, they want specific names of certain families to be taken to the East African Legislative Assembly.
But actually,
So the issue of public appointments, it's right.
yes.
Everyone should be on board.
Yes.
And government is still being formed. By the way, for information, we haven't seen even the ambassadors, parastatal heads, and so on. We haven't seen names. So I think President William Samoei Ruto is widening the scope, the scope of government, and the face of Kenya has been seen. We saw the face of Kenya in the cabinet. The only problem is that the names that were being given, some of them we had questions with them in that very cabinet.
Okay.
We doubted their ability to perform, and we doubted some of them, their track record had issues. And we speak those things openly in UDA as a party.
Okay.
We speak those things.
So maybe when you speak about them, what was the reaction of the president and the entire team that actually ensured that the appointment is verified?
No, you know what happens is that the president has the final say.
Okay.
But he also warned them. He also warned them that you have not sworn here in the name of your family and friends. You have sworn to serve Kenyans. If you don't do it, he will crack the whip.
Okay.
He will crack the whip. Because we had raised many issues about some people. But you know, those are also political appointments. And he might be having some political issues that he has to settle in certain areas. So he has to appoint so and so, so and so. But we've had some places where people have really raised issues. You know, like the TESO. The TESO have not had any significant appointment.
Yes, actually, when I was doing my research, I saw when we had this discussion today, many were asking this question that actually the Teso community is one of the community that has never had they have never had a CS in this country, and many are raising many questions that maybe do they have people that have never gone to school, or what is the problem? Maybe they don't have people that maybe can negotiate for them?
I think it could be having multiple reasons.
Okay.
One of them could be because of their political alignments, and you know, government is always formed by the party that wins, or the coalition of parties that win.
Okay.
So if they are so much inclined towards ODM, and so on. But that one doesn't mean that there is all Tesos are in ODM,
Yeah.
So that one raises issues. It raises issues as to why Tesos, for instance, are not in government. I've never had a
So
CS.
you're trying to insinuate that maybe when you don't support somebody, you don't get
That is what
a
has
portion
been,
in the
that has
government.
been the culture.
Okay.
But what President William Samoei Ruto has done is that he has reached out.
Yes.
But what I can assure you for free is this:
Yes.
the Tesos will be in government. The Tesos will be in government in a very big way.
Okay.
That one, it's good you have raised it here.
Okay.
And it's always said that once it has been raised, it has been heard. There is a story of the hyena and the rock in the Luyas tribe.
Yeah.
That even if they keep quiet, they've heard. The hyena told the rock that even if you keep quiet, you have heard. So we are saying this, that the Tesos must be in government because they are taxpayers. They are contributing greatly to national income figures. Cross-border trade between Kenya and Uganda, they're actually on the front line of the Kenyan border when it comes to, and you know Uganda is the Kenya's largest foreign market.
Yeah.
So the cross-border trade that they engage in and so on, and also they had their businesses in Teso. Among them was tobacco.
Yeah.
That was totally destroyed, and that is what we are trying to talk about during those campaigns. That if you can revive, for instance, the tobacco industry, smoking cigarettes is wrong, but tobacco is not used for cigarettes only.
Yeah.
And other countries have actually benefited from that. And also, not every research has shown that people die out of smoking cigarettes. So you can use that. You can use that to create cigar. You can create, for instance, the Malakisi cigar, like the Cuban cigar, and it can be a big booming business. Liberalize it so that it's not only non-big companies that can do it. So farmers can be doing it through small cooperatives. They can create coalitions with others in Europe, in North America, companies from Canada and so on, Australia.
Yeah.
Bring these people all together. Those who have experience, like the Cubans, you bring them on board. How do farmers add value to this thing? How can we create our own Kenyan Malakisi cigar? Take it to the world the same way the Cuban cigar has, and so on. Those are some of the things. But as we are saying that cigarette smoking is wrong, but you should know that it's an income generating, and it doesn't mean necessarily that those who smoke cigarettes. And two, you can purify this.
Yeah.
You can add value so that it doesn't actually harm human health. That is the purpose of science. We do not just want to pay tuition and education for people who are going to school and they're not doing research so that our farmers can be. But as I have said, the Tesos are just one tribe that is an example of people who are not included in government, and that one actually must be taken care of. Yes.
Okay, I think the Ministry for the Ministry for Industrialization, you must consider some of the factors that actually Dr. Chris has spoken about, and I think it's good that they should consult you. Okay.
Yes, sure.
It will be good, they should consult you because I've seen that you have a good understanding and a good knowledge in that. And there is a point also that Raila Odinga actually raised about kazi mtaani, because this is a sector that had employed actually a lot, thousands of youth. So what is your point on this? Because many of the youths are now jobless. So what is your point on this? Because now many are just at home and relaxed, and that is why you saw the rise of these crime activities. So what is your point on this?
On the issue of kazi mtaani, myself, I did not support kazi mtaani. I never did it. I never encouraged people to do it.
Okay.
Because it was a fraud. People could pick a broom here, pick a slasher there, pretend to be working, and then you're paid 700 shillings, 500 shillings, 600 something. People were hiring their relatives and girlfriends and boyfriends and stuff. I never supported kazi mtaani. What President William Samoei Ruto has done is the right thing. Create teams of young people who are going to be used for meaningful purposes. For instance, affordable housing. Employ these people on similar terms of kazi mtaani, but they are building houses, some of which will even be their own houses.
You know, the suggestion was actually, I know that actually it's a good take, but there is a problem here because building these houses that the government is planning and preparing, it will take time because it is from one county into another. Then moving from one county to another, what will those youth from the other county be doing when actually development is taking place in one county?
What's wrong with no, he just did a pilot launch.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you'll have to be waiting, because people have to sleep. They will not wait and sleep in the rain for a house to be completed in Kibra before those ones of Madare comes in. So Kenyans should encourage him to ensure that all these projects are rolled out immediately. If it's in Nairobi, all the sub-counties of Nairobi must have the affordable housing programs, because government has land in Nairobi. Most of this land has been grabbed, but it's government land where they can put up houses for people, raise houses, cheap, affordable housing. And these young people, all of them, because you'll need potters. And by the way, by the time they're finishing to construct that house, many of them will even be having certificates. They should issue them with certificates in construction, building and construction. They'll be doing something. You know, it will be training on the job. So this one will be more better than, because it's telling me that you're slashing. Now, which training is that you're getting? But this one for building and construction, you are not going to be of more importance. We shall need you now elsewhere. Go put up houses. And you'll have gotten the skills and so on. So Kazi Mtaani was a fraud. I would believe that this one of construction, this one is now the right route to take.
Okay, yeah. I've seen that you are now a master of all jacks, and I'm happy to hear about that. Actually, the government needs such like people to ensure that we bring positive impact and development to our country. And the last point that I need us to speak about is on GMO, because it's something that has raised uproar in our country. And I don't know if GMO will be a good thing for us to do it, and for us to ensure that we import it now. What's your take on it?
It's I don't know what the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga is a master of double speak. There is a time he was in Parliament.
Yes, I know that he supported it the other time when he was actually in Parliament.
But now he has reached a point and said it's not right. But I can tell you that there is no way you can operate. Even the food we are eating today, the maize we are eating today is genetically modified. The maize that arrived here when the colonialists were coming is not the same breed we are having today. They genetically modified it to suit the current times. They have always been doing it, and that is why you'll hear of this breed of maize, this breed of cassava, this breed of coffee, Arabica, and so on. They modified it to suit the changing times. The rains are no longer there. Adequate rains are no longer there. The soils have lost fertility because of overuse. Much of the soil is swept into the rivers, and it goes. The topsoil. There is what we call leaching also. And so on. So you find that much of the soil has been washed away. So the type of seeds you're going to have must be genetically modified to suit the changing the soil pH and so on. You cannot tell me that you'll operate without GMO. And two, it has been there. The milk you're taking, and by the way, you take many things. You take these spices that you use for cooking. Have you ever seen them planting? Have you ever seen those companies planting those spice trees, like the ones in Zanzibar? But they produce for you something. They even draw chicken on top of it. They draw chicken on top of it. They tell you that this is chicken flavored. This is what. Where do they get those flavors? Those things are genetically modified. So you've been eating those things. It's only that you've not been told. And two, it will be in the shelves. So when it's in the shelves, they'll tell you, do you want the genetically modified or do you want the organic? If you want the organic, this is the price. Unga for genetically modified, 50 bob. Organic, 250. So let your pocket choose where you will go. And apart from that, it is also going to benefit the farmers. If they're going to import genetically modified, the farmers should now be campaigning for the organically produced. It will increase their prices. They'll earn more. What is the problem with people creating for you competition? So that you make more money, as these ones are making quick money from genetically modified. There are people who will just be having a class.
You know, there is a problem somewhere, because most Kenyans will consider the cheapest kind of maize, the cheap maize that they can actually afford to buy. And that one that is produced by Kenyan farmers will lack a market. Will you agree?
Not necessarily. In fact, you might find that some of the foods they'll be producing that are genetically modified, most of them might not even be reaching your shelf. Some of them will be used for biofuels, for drinks, for, they produce, for instance, alcohol out of these, some of these. So some of these things will not reach you. And even if they reach, you've said true that most Kenyans will go for the cheap ones. But that one doesn't mean that they'll not be having the option. So today there are many people who are buying things in those supermarkets. They are buying things in the shops. When you show them that this is a tomato that is genetically modified and this is the organic one,
Okay.
the organic one is 20 shillings. You find someone leaving that one of 5 bob and goes for the 20 shillings. They want the organic. So it is creating a competition, an environment of competition, and the farmers will benefit more. In fact, they shouldn't complain. Let them bring this, and they'll tell people why the people should use the organic, and they'll make money.
Okay.
That is how it goes. That is how business goes.
Okay.
You pull your rope into your direction.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Chris, for having giving me this time to have an interview with you. Maybe it's good I just give you a few minutes, 2 minutes actually, to give a word to the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and a word to the Right Honorable the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto. I think it's good that I give you this time.
Yes.
Just say a word to them.
First of all, I would want to thank Raila Amolo Odinga. He has kept the faith. He has been a good fighter. But a good fighter is one who, in my tribe, we say that a good dancer is one who dances and doesn't keep dancing so much on the floor. He should take some time to relax, rather than be so much antagonistic, because once people tag you to be antagonistic, a troublemaker and so on, even if you're talking sense, people might not take the sense. So I would tell the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to reorganize his troops. He still has chances of in politics. From the crowds we saw at Kamukunji, there are people who still believe in him. And he should do that work of oversight over government, and it's a good thing. Let him keep the faith.
Okay.
But as we have said, that politics is a race. You will not let someone sleep on a mat there and give him the medal, and yet it was a race. The other was running.
Yeah.
So President William Samoei Ruto right now is running, and he comes from a tribe of people who run the marathon. And I believe that he's in the right direction. He's moving in the right direction. We might not like so much his speed because he has been a bit slow. The things that have been done in this country were so messy, so messy. I think that is what he's trying to organize. But I can tell you for free that he's in the right direction. And for Raila, he should be given room to do his acrobats, his gymnastics and so on. Those are political gymnastics. He will cool. After you've cooled, we will see the country move forward. But having an oversight over government is very important, because when you are in those big offices, you are occupying space.
Yeah.
You tend to forget the promises you people made. That is what Kijana Wamalwa used to say. That you're saying that at Mount Kenya Safari Club, that we have gotten into power and we seem to have forgotten all of a sudden all the promises that we made. So when people keep you on your toes, it becomes a good thing. And that's why I think let Raila Amolo Odinga play that, but do it with moderation. Causing stampedes all over will not so much help, because the UDA supporters might take it for some time, but they'll reach a point and say, no, okay, fine, let us clash on the streets and let the best team win. So that one becomes a recipe for chaos. But let him also create more engagement with the people and so on, and we shall wish him the very best in his opposition duties. Okay. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yes.
It has been the best interview with Chris Maliongovi, one of the best actually political analysts and an activist in the country, in our country, Kenya. And we actually we are expecting maybe to have you soon.
Yes.
And have the interviews. You will be a resident guest here.
Thank you very much.
Where we shall ensure that we give the content, the best content to our viewers. And this is Smack Media. Keep tuned and ensure that you subscribe and share the content, because we give you the best content. And I would like to give a shout out to a few people, and none other than actually our camera person, Tony Bryan, who is doing a very, very important job, and we appreciate him for what he's doing. And keep tuned and ensure that you share and subscribe our content. I've been your presenter, Davis Karani.